Did you have fun creating that animated drop-down menu? Pretty cool stuff, eh? Now, the big question is, what if you wanted to add on an additional drop-down menu or multiple drop-down menus? And also, what about setting up some hyperlinks so that the menu items actually do stuff? Well, check this out. I've actually already built this for us. It's a lot easier for me to just build it all for you, and I'll show you how we did it, or how I did it anyway. And you can take what I've done and use it in your own projects. So inside your project files folder, you'll find a file called /layout_multiple-menus.fla. And what I did basically is I took the file that you and I just finished off with in the previous exercise. I took that file, resaved it under this new file name, added on an extra menu, threw in a couple of rollover effects. I'll show you that in a second. Threw in a couple of hyperlinks. So I'm going to show you how all of this is built, okay? So, again, you can use this as a basis for your own stuff, right? So it's basically an extrapolation of what we've already done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and test my movie here, Command-Enter or Control-Enter if you want to follow me along here. Here's the layout, right? It looks exactly the same. Here's the rollovers that I decided to create. So just simple rollovers on this main menu across the top. There's the Seminars drop-down menu, which we've already seen. And then the Seminar, of course, the rollover on the actual text Seminar is in there as well. And then Rates, and then Tools is a second drop-down menu that I decided to add in there. It functions in exactly the same way as the Seminars drop-down menu. Notice that the sub-menu items also have rollovers on them. Really easy to pull that off, right? And just for the sake of time, I just put the exact same menu items under both drop-down menus. But again, real world, you would obviously change those. And then the rollovers continue with Blog and Contact Us. Okay, good stuff. So that's pretty simple. And of course, all the other rollovers still function. The stuff down in the footer and the more rollover effect that we created there, that stuff's all still in there, right? Now, I want to point out as well that the first item underneath Seminars is clickable. Finance 101. If you click on that, your web browser is going to kick in and it's going to take you to 10tonbooks.com. Awesome. Okay, so I'll show you how I did that. All the others, they don't do anything. They're not clickable at this point in time. The other item that's clickable is Blog, because I wanted to show you how to set up a link not only for a submenu item, but what about for a menu item that doesn't have a drop-down menu? So if you click on Blog, that's going to take you to wordpress.org. Okay? So pretty cool stuff. So how is all this happening? How is it all put together? Well, let's go and dig into our Flash file. So again, this is the /layout_multiple-menus.fla. So let's talk about adding on the extra menu first of all. So inside the library panel, go and find main menu. Go ahead and double click on that guy to open that guy up. There we go. Now have a look at the timeline there. All I did again is it's just sort of an extension of what we've already done. So where you and I left off, we only had up to frame 10, right? Or actually, I took one frame off, so it's actually frame 9 now for me, but shouldn't matter too much. In any regard, the last frame we had was a stop. We had that script layer and all the rest of it, and we had this mask happening as well, right? Of course, you saw how to do that. So then all I did is I simply created a second mask with a second drop-down menu. So these menu items here are sitting on this menu button layer, which is being masked again by another mask. So there's a second mask in there. Let me unlock these guys and you'll see what I'm talking about. So there's that second mask, the same object, the same symbol that you and I had used on the previous mask, right? So in the real world, you'd go and change out these menu items here, and you'd do all of that right on the menu button layer. That's all there is to it. So you would have a second submenu. You would have a second mask. There's a second frame label now. There's down 2. Previously, there was just down 1. And I also have a second reset in there as well. So if you wanted to add on a third, you just add on down 3. You'd add on another mask, and you'd add on another reset, right? It's pretty simple, I think. Anyway, I'm just going to lock out that stuff again. Now, let me show you what's going on inside the guts of what's actually happening here. So if you recall, if I grab the button there, seminars, and I flip into properties, remember I had to change his behavior to a button, and I had to give him an instance name of main button 1. And I said that's not really a decent real world example. Really, that would be button 3. Well, as it turns out, tools, I did the exact same thing to. I called him button 2. Again, he would be button 5. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And blog, he's also clickable. Don't forget. Same story. Button, and he's now button 3, right? And the other thing that I did is I converted all of the other main menu items to button behavior. So I just went across. I grabbed home, switched him from a graphic to a button, applications, and so on and so on. I didn't give them all instance names, though. You can do that on your own. Okay, so that's what's going on there. What about the action script? What's going on with the action script? Well, I'm going to click inside the first frame of the script layer there into the actions panel, and I'm going to scroll. Actually, let me pull this guy up here. I must have moved him out of the way here. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. So I believe where we left off is we just had one function and one menu item. So all I did is I added on a second button there, or a second event listener, really, I should say, for main button 2. And same goes for main button 3. And of course, those are all connecting up to the functions for the rollover buttons up here. So there's my function for main 2 over. There's the function for main 3 over, right? So again, if you wanted to add on more, you simply add on additional event listeners and additional rollover functions for your main buttons, right? So I hope that makes sense there. All right, now how about the hyperlinks? What's going on there? Well, let me show you how to set up the hyperlinks. I hope all this is making sense here. First of all, I want to show you a couple of quick instance names that I set here. So bear with me. I'm going to have to go and unlock a couple of things. I'm going to go and hide my mask here. This first item here, the Finance 101, you have to give all of your buttons instance names if you want them to be clickable, right? So Finance 101, the first item underneath seminars, I called Sem1, right? Seminar 1. I probably could have called them Finance 101 or whatever, but you need some kind of an instance name in there. So that's the instance name for the first menu item underneath seminars, and I just pointed this out to you. Blog is main button 3, right? So now if I go back into my script layer, and let me just pull my actions panel back up here. And if I scroll up towards the top, there's all of my actions, right? Or my hyperlinks. So I tried to comment this for you so it's nice and clear. Links for the main menu items, so no drop downs, right? That would be the blog link, right? So that's taking us to wordpress.org. And it's all connecting up right here. So there's main button 3. There's the event listener forum. He's main 1, so there's main 1 click right there, and that's how it's all coming through, right? And same with my submenu item as well. So the submenu item, I simply called main 2. That's Sem1, and he's going to 10tonbooks.com. So that was Finance 101. So if you go and test your movie again, and you click on Finance 101, it's going to go here. If you click on the blog link, he's going to go there. Right? So you just have to make sure if you want to add on additional drop-down menus or if you want to set up hyperlinks for your top-level menu items, you just have to make sure to put in the appropriate action script code, and it's all inside the first frame of the script layer.